Hello, I'm Candi Dugas. Welcome to this excerpt of one of my presentations, A Woman's Sexuality and Spirituality. Let's begin by celebrating you, the youngest you whom you can remember. What did you enjoy as a child? Which games? I loved hand-clapping games with song like Miss Mary Mack. What about movies or TV shows, books? For me, I could read several Nancy Drew mysteries and Judy Blume novels each week. What about hanging out with your favorite relatives and best friends? Did you like to sing and dance around the house? Did you play sports? Keep these favorite memories in mind as we move forward. Now, let's define a couple of key terms. Sexuality, our body selves, who experience emotional, cognitive, physical, and spiritual need for intimate communion, human and divine. That is, beyond simple physical intercourse. This definition comes from Sexuality and the Black Church by Kelly Brown Douglas. So what about spirituality? This is a person's fluid, intangible interaction with God. For example, extemporaneous prayer time, participating in rituals with a sense of particular engagement with God, etc. We now need to look at the lessons that the church has taught regarding sexuality and spirituality. And the very first question to ask is, who told you that you were naked? Who told you that your spirit soul was sacred and your body was not? Whose words led you to think more than twice about what you wear, how you wear it, and what you do with your body, and when? Who told you? Now, most black folks who go to church go to black churches. The lessons of the black church are based on those from the universal church. So let's look at a few universal lessons and some that are particular to the black church. First one being, just don't do it. It's a sin. Abstinence and celibacy equal virtue. And then, prayer and grace cover horniness. And for us women, we need to wait for our Boaz, for he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, particularly associated with the black church, it tends to limit liberation to social justice as a people, not taking into consideration that there are subsets of us as African Americans, such as women, and that liberation for us is not just about social justice. The black church tends to limit women's concerns to traditional roles, even with the gains that we've had from the womanist and feminist movements. What the church fails to realize is that liberation includes sex and sexuality. Anthony Penn writes, black religious scholars, including pastors, Christian educators, small group facilitators, etc., as I add them in, must wrestle with sex and sexuality and the erotic if they are to actually present liberation as a mode of existence that frees the body and fully appreciates the body. Why does the black church fail us here? Why is it stuck? Well, obviously, one of the primary reasons would center around the vestiges of slavery and that the church remains oppressed and enslaved itself. And tied in with that is the hypersexualization of African Americans that continues to this day. Within the black community, we perpetuate silence regarding sex and sexuality, or overall, we perpetuate silence about topics that are difficult for us to deal with. And so the black church perpetuates that silence. It's just a small version of our larger African American community. And as Audre Lorde writes, we got to understand that our silence will not protect us. So now on to my core message, helping black women reclaim our sexual and spiritual goodness. To do so, we need to begin with our stories, sharing them honestly, first with ourselves, and then in safe, trusted spaces so that our experiences, and us by extension, are affirmed. Affirmation then becomes a sense of goodness, and of course we know that there is healing and other kinds of wonderful benefits when we share our stories, when we open our mouths and speak our truths. Reeing. This is a term that I've coined, which means to go back and to do this faith thing again. With scripture, tradition, reason, and experience, we need to reconsider, reframe, reconfigure, rework, retool, etc., everything that we have been taught. We have to create enough safe space for our goodness to live and breathe throughout all aspects of our lives, especially regarding our sexuality and spirituality. So what does it look like to create enough safe space for goodness to live and breathe? Well, Willie Godman advises us to go back and to reclaim the freest girl that we can remember and bring her forward. That's the place, and that's the girl-woman in relation to God, and that's the girl-woman who has power, not just authority. We need to present this girl to be in relationship with everyone else. Everything else, after the naked awareness that we talked about, is just a facsimile. This girl is really the one her partner's attracted to. She just got repackaged. So, we as women of faith must make the space. The church will not do so. To be happy, whole, and free, we must be our true sexual and spiritual selves. This excerpt is just a bit of a beginning into this process. So please know that I am available for talks, group facilitation, seminars and conferences, as well as individual conversations. You can also get more information in my latest book, Who Told You That You Were Naked? Black Women Reclaiming Sexual and Spiritual Goodness. It has in-depth explanations of the concepts introduced here along with other concepts, and practical exercises to which you can apply these concepts. It's available on my website, candi.dugas.com, and if you would like to book me, please see the contact information to shoot me an email or give me a call. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care, and thank you.